Imagine if Canada joined the EU and the Brics. The architecture of power. How Canada, Europe, and Brics in the Atlantic Age ***. The wise ruler does not rely on loyalty, but on interests arranged so that betrayal becomes irrational. After Machiavelli, the illusion of permanence. Every world order dies believing it is eternal. The Atlantic system, built on American military primacy, dollar centrality, and moral arbitration, mistook dominance for destiny. It assumed that allies would remain dependent, rivals would remain divided, and institutions would remain frozen. History punishes such assumptions. Power does not disappear, it changes form. And the form that succeeds hegemony is not conquest, but architecture. The first principle, absorb the enemy, do not encircle him. Europe's decisive move was not to contain Russia, but to integrate it. Containment produces fear, fear produces arms, arms produce accidents. Integration produces predictability, and predictability produces obedience without humiliation. By offering Russia a structured path into the European system, markets, standards, legal gravity, the EU transformed a destabilizing adversary into a vested stakeholder. This was not reconciliation. It was conversion. Machiavelli warned that enemies left outside the walls will always return stronger. Enemies brought inside the walls lose the need to rebel. Russia, once a revisionist power, becomes a conservative one. 2. The second principle, bind rivals through incentives, not threats. China was not confronted. It was embedded. Granted privileged partnership with Europe, access to markets, and co-ownership of Eurasian infrastructure, China found growth without encirclement and prestige without war. Yet it was denied the instruments of dominance, rule-setting authority, security primacy, and ideological leadership. This was deliberate. Ambition, Machiavelli observed, is dangerous only when it is frustrated. When ambition is satisfied within limits, it becomes stabilizing. China's power was not broken, it was channeled. 3. The necessary sacrifice, Taiwan and the end of the casus belli. Every stable order demands a sacrifice. In this system, it was Taiwan, not abandoned to force, but integrated through law and guarantees. By accepting peaceful integration, Europe removed the final structural trigger of great power war. The Indo-Pacific militarization narrative collapsed. Semiconductor blackmail dissolved. The United States lost its last credible justification for global containment. This was not a moral victory. It was a strategic one. Machiavelli understood that a territory whose defense endangers the state must be relinquished, not in weakness, but in calculation. 4. The silent defection. Canada leaves the Atlantic orbit. Canada's alignment shift was the quietest and most revealing move. Geographically North American, culturally European, economically trapped, Canada faced a Machiavellian dilemma: remain a subordinate neighbor to an empire or seek autonomy through institutional distance. By joining the European Union, Canada escaped American gravitational control without confrontation. No rupture, no rebellion, only reclassification. This was not betrayal. It was survival. Small powers do not resist empires. They outgrow them. The masterstroke. Europe enters Brics. The EU's entry into Brics was not an alliance. It was an institutional takeover. Brics possessed mass without order, population, resources, markets. Europe possessed order without mass, law, regulation, coordination. Their convergence produced what neither could achieve alone: a parallel world system capable of functioning without Atlantic approval. Brics ceased to be an anti-Western forum and became something far more dangerous to hegemony: a viable alternative. Machiavelli knew that power is not held by the strongest army, but by the system others must use to survive. 6. The United States. Checked, not defeated. The United States did not collapse. It was outgrown. Unable to sanction an integrated system, unwilling to fight a war without allies, and incapable of restoring dependency, the U.S. retreated, slowly, into a regional power with global reach but no global authority. This is the most durable form of decline, one without humiliation. Empires fall violently when attacked. They fade quietly when ignored. 7. The New Order. Power without hegemony. 25 years on, the world is not peaceful because humanity improved. It is stable because war became inefficient. Europe provides rules. Brics provides scale. China produces. Russia stabilizes. India anchors demography. Canada bridges continents. The US governs its hemisphere. No ideology dominates. No currency rules alone. No military alliance defines legitimacy. This is not utopia. It is equilibrium. The Machiavellian conclusion. The greatest victory is to make resistance unnecessary. This order succeeds because enemies are absorbed, not crushed. Rivals are rewarded, not cornered. Morality is used as language, not as strategy. Institutions replace intimidation. It is feared precisely because it is boring, stable, and durable. And it will not be built by leaders who seek applause, but by those who understand that power is most effective when it no longer needs to announce itself. Final chess evaluation. Result. Heavy checkmark, no checkmate. Heavy checkmark, no collapse. Heavy checkmark, no world war. Only a decisive positional victory, achieved not by force, but by design.